Okay, so something else that I've done here is you're probably going to go ahead and wonder something like, you know, in the previous video, I talked about like how I basically create, uh, a quarter's worth of content, right? So like, or like a month's worth of content. But I have these titles here, and before I recorded it, well, Rich, I can spend all of my time recording these topics, but then the next thing I got to go ahead and wonder is basically this. Well, how do I get people to go ahead and watch it? And this is actually where I share with people like this is the newest member of my little, education tech empire family is the cybersecurity, and I got 2.7 thousand views off of this guy. And there's a few things that I did to go ahead and try to optimize for views. Number one is I would go out there and add hashtags. So the first thing that I did was add hashtags. The second thing that I did was also add emojis. The third thing that I did here was also kind of change up, like kind of like my backdrop and then also what it is that I chose to wear. Okay, so I was in Korea when I filmed this. And for those of my diehard Korean friends, you can see here KOREA, Korean Army. My friend got that shirt for me in the military base, and when I recorded all of those different videos there, the hilarious thing was like I actually, not for all of them, but I had a good number of comments where like people were just like, why are you wearing a Korean Army shirt? Number one, I'm not Korean. Number two, I've never spent a day in my life in the military. But my friend, I don't know, they did this crazy thing in Korea where like, I don't know, like every 5 years or 10 years, they call everybody that's ever served into the military again. And then he got caught in there with a few other dudes. And the two things that like people gave me, I have a lot of friends in Korea. The two things that everybody gave me was makeup products that they bought at discount because there's a mall or shopping mall inside. I've never been inside, but apparently it's duty free. There's no tax. And then they give out these shirts, and like they're like, I don't want to wear that thing anymore. And I was like, well, I feel kind of bad. It's number one, I'm not Korean. Number two, I've never been in the army before. I don't really feel like I could wear it. But it was actually that week was like raining the hardest for whatever, but I ran out of shirts and I was wearing that shirt because you got shit, you got to get work done, right? So when I was recording it and I was wearing that, craziest thing is I had all these comments on there saying like, you know, bro, are you in the Korean Army? And that kind of elevated the algorithm a little bit because most of your views are going to come from shares or from comments or from likes, and it's just like the way that if you think about like a Google map, right, and it has like red for traffic and then green for like no traffic, right, and it's like going through for those of us that drove, especially for those of us that's ever lived like in LA where it's like a high traffic zone. The more activity that you have on your videos, like it's just going to, the algorithm is just going to naturally assume that there is a lot of activity there and other people should go out there and watch it. So that now everybody that's looking for other things that has to do with cybersecurity or like product management, it gets bumped. So I started wearing that shirt actually a lot more. So like there's that you can go out there and do. Another trick is actually the hashtags. So obviously you want to have like 5 hashtags, and if you're doing something like tech, and you kind of want to just go out there and play around with it. Choose 5 hashtags for here, but like post them all up, and that's why you want to post as much as possible, because the best form of data is organic. I didn't promote any of this. We're new to the cybersecurity game in relative comparison with other players. So what people really know us for is obviously product management, right? That's the space that we dominate. Tech sales is also another space that we dominate. But cybersecurity is actually, we're the newest kids on the block compared to some of the more established players that's been around for about 20 years. Because cybersecurity has been around for a very long time. It's just like all of a sudden it's gotten a lot hotter because like cybersecurity attacks have all gone up and everything. So in the previous video, I talked about how like I got like a bunch of these video titles out. This is all part of a playlist, by the way. If you're interested in like actually how to monetize your own personal brand, please go ahead and join us in school. But having said that, it's like the more shorts that I dump, the more I can see what's working, what's not working. And also because I have so many YouTube channels that I'm monetizing off of right now, sometimes like how to deal with a toxic hiring manager, or like how to deal with how to go ahead and all these different little tricks that we basically run, right? I basically I get to see like what's doing well. The third thing is emojis. Something that made the biggest difference in our game has been emojis. So I would pop all of this into ChatGPT, and I would prompt ChatGPT to just add the emojis. And I would create a prompt, and it's a very simple prompt, which is like, can you add emojis to these YouTube titles and create some fun combinations of it? Of like, sometimes it'll have like one emoji in the front, one emoji in the back, two emojis in the front, and you can kind of play with it like however it is that you like. And it's been doing well. Like the emoji thing, definitely I saw a huge impact with emojis, right? So if you change up kind of like what is that you wear, if you change up how it is that you wear, and like, because you gotta understand, it's like sometimes your backdrop has like something to do with it. Like this one right here that I have for like my side hustle, which is like, let me see here. I was like, what is the best time to go ahead and post up, content? Because I'm all about monetizing every minute of my day. And I was like, right before you go out on a date, you can go out there and get the maximum impact on the outfit. Sometimes it's just like your backdrop. So Rich, sometimes it's just like your backdrop, right? I notice like when I'm doing it like outside, I get like, what's going on? Four seasons.
Rich.
Right. So sometimes I realize, like, depending on like the backdrop that I have, so I travel a lot now for like work. If I'm like in a airport lounge, I definitely like just try to get in on there like a little bit more. So like in terms of like recording like YouTube shorts, that's actually what I do and I'm trying to like, I'm showing other people how to do this. But like, I find it like, instead of just me going live and like I kind of think about it, it's like this is actually a day that I'm actually doing it. Like I mentioned before, it's kind of late Saturday afternoon, and I'm just kind of like, this is a very unproductive time for me, so I just get a little bit of work done before I go out there and head out for the evening. As you get older, you kind of need that little nap time before you go out. So sad. So like when I was at my prime. Yeah, but like this is actually, I wanted people to see like the unfiltered because I've been very fortunate to do a lot of traveling the last 6 months, where like people tell me like even though like my curriculum has been awesome, they kind of like to see like, Rich, how do you just do it when you're just getting onto your MacBook and just doing it, right? In the next video, I'm actually going to show you the logistics of what I do to record everything. So let's stay on.